Now, I have a couple excerpts here this is from an article that was in the LA Times, January 13th, 1995, by Sonny Efron. Captured Russian soldiers paint bleak picture of Chechen conditions. So, this is Grozny, Russia. Russian troop morale is so low, conditions are so poor, and losses are so heavy that the Russian attempt to take Grozny is floundering. 2 Russian soldiers captured in the capital of the breakaway Republic of Chechnya said Thursday. The soldiers are against this war, and so are our commanders, said Alexei, a 20-year-old junior sergeant who was caught while trying to steal food from an empty house in Grozny after he'd gone 5 days without a solid meal. We are forced to fight. The 2 soldiers said Russian positions had frequently been bombed by Russian warplanes. Many soldiers had been killed by friendly fire from the Russian side, and constant vehicle breakdowns made it impossible for them to pick up their dead and wounded. And this is, I haven't found the book yet, and I'm sure I will. The book that takes you into the battle onto the ground, because I've been talking all this strategic stuff, and generally I don't like to do that. I want to hear from the person on the ground. And this is where you start to get it. You start to see what the Russians, what the frontline troopers were thinking and what it was like for them. And here you had him saying that many soldiers have been killed by friendly fire from the Russian side. Constant vehicle breakdowns made it impossible for them to pick up their dead and wounded. In a company that had 100 men, now there are only 50 left. In our battalion, out of 350 men, over 250 had been killed. The soldiers' accounts indicate that the new official figures putting the Russian military death toll at 394 soldiers are vastly understated. Chechen sources put the Russian casualties at about 3,000 dead. These Russians are worse than fascists, said Grigory A. Smirnov, 50, whose beloved cherry tree was decapitated by the rocket. 4 young guys have been killed on our street. They weren't fighters. They weren't against anyone. I apologize for what Russia is doing here, Smirnov said. I'm embarrassed by my country in front of the whole world. A month after President Boris Yeltsin promised the Russian public that law and order would be restored in Chechnya, and that the illegal armed formations in Grozny would quickly be disarmed, it was unclear whether Russian forces could soon break through the fierce Chechen resistance. I don't think they can take the city, said one Chechen fighter. They can destroy it, but they can't capture it. The 2 Russian prisoners who had entered Grozny on December 20th looked exhausted, filthy, and frightened. If their condition is typical of the rest of the enemy, it is not surprising that the Russians have not yet attempted another all-out infantry assault on Grozny. Frankly, there is no discipline, no anything in the military now, the prisoner said. The soldiers are weakened, they haven't washed for a long time, they are hungry and unshaven. Even a soldier, when he wants to describe how bad things have gotten, he says that the soldiers are dirty, hungry, and unshaven. There were times where more of us were getting killed by our own people than by the Chechens. We don't even have time to pick up our dead, just no time. We're either fighting the Chechen or our own air force is bombing us. The prisoner added that they'd been ordered to kill everybody, from kids to old people, not just Chechens, but also Russians. This is a nightmare. The 2 soldiers said they went into a house in northeast Grozny neighborhood to look for food because they hadn't had a proper meal for 5 days. They'd been surviving on dry rations that were never enough and were delivered to their positions irregularly. As the prisoners spoke, Chechen fighters gathered around them to listen. Upon hearing the Russians admit that they had broken into the house, one man shouted angrily, "Looters! All we wanted was something to eat," muttered the prisoner.